talking to my computer. Hi, everyone. It's Todd Molesky here from the State Journal at Compton Family Ice Arena in South Bend, Indiana. I believe I'm live. I don't know. Let's continue as if I am. The Badgers get a 3-1 victory against Notre Dame in Game 1 of the Big Ten quarterfinal series, and raise your hand if you had that one on your pool. I'll wait for any comments on that. The Badgers played a playoff game like they had to play to come out with a win, and we've seen where the Badgers have played like this and haven't gotten a result. I mean, they play well enough to win sometimes, but just don't. And tonight they got a lead. They responded quickly when Notre Dame tied it, with Dominic Mersch scoring 38 seconds after Graham Slager's power play goal in the second period. And then they added to it in the third period with a nice 2-on-1 conversion by Zach Erdahl, even though it didn't really come off his stick the way he wanted it to. It still went in the net. That made it 3-1. And the Badgers saw that through to the end. And let's not kid ourselves here. The number one star is Jared Moe, 49 saves. He just looked calm. He looked composed, even though it was pretty crazy around him. He had to be pretty acrobatic on a few of the saves, as the puck was popping up and over his net and over his shoulders and bouncing around in weird ways. But that was a big performance for Jared Moe at a big time. I mean, the Badgers are. They were 9-22-3 coming in. They hadn't won. They'd lost 10 straight road games. They were 1-7, 1-8 in their last 9. Whatever the numbers were, everything was against them coming into this game. But they knew they had played Notre Dame well 3 weeks ago. And they got a win against them, even though Moe had to steal that one too, and he did. That first game, the Saturday game at the Kohl Center against Notre Dame, coming off of the COVID quarantine. But you go into the playoffs, your goaltending has to be good. You need to play a smart game. I thought the Badgers probably took too many penalties tonight, a couple that definitely didn't need to be taken. And they gave up a power play goal, but they did also kill 4 Notre Dame power plays. So not a perfect night for them, but they got it to the finish line, and they took a 1-0 lead in the series, which continues Saturday night, 5 p.m. Central Time start, 6 here in South Bend. And we can imagine that Notre Dame will be pretty fired up for that one, knowing that they don't want to leave anything to chance in terms of the pairwise of sitting for 2 weeks and waiting to see what happens. Tanner asks the 3 stars tonight, and I already said Moe was number 1. I think I gave number 2 to Dominic Mersch for his second period goal that really took away the momentum that Notre Dame had from their goal. Swung things right back to the Badgers. And it was a nice redirection in front. Tyler Inamoto shot. Mersch got to the net front and parked there, and he says he works on that every day after practice, and this one just happened to work out, and it was one of those bounces that you think about the bounces that went the Badgers' way. A couple posts in the first period, 3 I think, for Notre Dame. I mentioned the Erdahl goal that kind of just slid off his stick and went past Matthew Galida. And then, Mersch gets his redirection on a shot. And those are things that really haven't gone the Badgers' way for most of this season. So Mersch was my number 2 star. My number 3 star was Brock Caulfield for scoring the goal in the first period that let the Badgers play with the lead. I mean, we know that Notre Dame is not a team you want to fall behind and chase. So that is an important element of playing playoff hockey, getting the lead, playing with it for a while. And like I mentioned, Mersch getting that responsible was baked in too. Matthew Doherty says the defense looked a lot better tonight. I think it's worth mentioning that getting Daniel Lodge back in the lineup did seem to stabilize a lot of things. Yeah, they had to play in their defensive zone a lot, but I thought they played pretty well for the most part in their defensive zone, and kept the the one-timers or the high grade A chances down, even though Notre Dame got a bunch of shots. A lot of them that Mo could handle, and he did a good job, obviously, in handling them. Eric says, how about that loud Badger cheering section behind the Badgers bench? Well, here at Notre Dame, that's tends to be the way you guys bring it. So it's been a while since the traveling road show has had something to cheer about. So it's good for you guys to get something off of this trip here, and we'll see where it goes from here. The question here, or statement/question from Jim: Erdahl and Stang are ideally not fourth liners, correct? Got to think they are guys who are counted on for more than that role. I think they're hoping so in the future, but it's something that you have to play what you're suited to right now, and those guys haven't had the the scoring output that I think a lot of people thought they would this season, and so they're playing that fourth line role, and obviously contributed quite a bit tonight, getting that third goal and a couple other good shifts. Caden Brown had a good chance that Galata got a glove on, so it was, all in all, a pretty solid effort, even though Notre Dame did take it to them in terms of shots. Ended up being 50-27, and the attempts for the game, if I get it in the box score, I would have to add them up. Help me out here. 32. Sorry. And 23 is 55. And then another 27, which is, oh boy, 83? What did I say, 55 and 27? Okay, so that's a lot. I'm not good with math quickly like that in my head, but I'll await your judgment if I got that wrong. A lot of shots, a lot of shot attempts from Notre Dame. Let's put it that way. And it's 82. Sorry, thank you, Eric. It is not the way that I think the Badgers are going to win this series. They need to play a little bit more on the front foot if they can. Now this is going to be a series where they're going to have to scratch and claw their way to the finish line, right? I think if they had any chance of winning, it was going to be you're going to have to win a couple of close games. But they've gotten one, and we'll see where it goes after that tomorrow, and if necessary on Sunday. One other note, someone had asked on Twitter whether Mo will play again on Saturday, given that he faced the 50 shots tonight. I posed that to Tony Granato, and he essentially laughed in my face. Said I asked if there was any thought of giving Cam Rowe a go on Saturday because of the workload tonight for Mo, and he said, not if I want to keep my job. That's an interesting way of putting it right now, but that's made it pretty clear that no, Mo is going back in Saturday, and he said Mo said he feels good. He's been good at recovery. He's done a lot of back-to-backs this year, and he said he hopefully doesn't have to get to a 3-3, but if he does, he'll be able to rest and recover and do what he needs to do to get there. So we'll find out Saturday night whether Badgers are moving to the semifinals or if we'll need Game 3 on Sunday. So Join me for that one. We'll have the video after that. We will have a story coming up soon on Madison.com from tonight's game, and you can read about it in Saturday's State Journal. So thanks for joining me. We'll talk to you tomorrow night here from South Bend, Indiana. The final in Game 1 of the Big Ten quarterfinals, Badgers 3, Notre Dame 1. We'll talk to you later, everyone.